Everybody, Aaron here from the Cool Guys Nation, and welcome to episode 7 of... On this week's episode, we are going to be talking a lot about 8th edition. But first, let's take a look at some Karajan Overlords. This wonderful, wonderful conversion from Asara, or Asjara, I'm not sure how to say that. I very much apologize for mispronouncing it. Made this amazing Admiral conversion, and I love it. I love... his video is very short, so we're going to pause it with 1 second left. I love the clouds, the position of his leg, just everything going on here. I think this is super gorgeous. Kind of want to do that to my Admiral, but I guess I'd have to cut him apart, so yeah. But that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. I love it. Okay, 8th edition, 40k. It's coming along. There's been a lot of information. Games Workshop has been putting out a lot of information. There's also a lot of rumors and things flying around, so I thought that I would do a quick wrap-up or roundup of all the information coming out. So if you are not familiar with warhammer-community.com, you should be, because that is where Games Workshop is posting all of their community-related stuff, including updates on 8th edition. This all started during Adepticon. So on the 23rd of March, Games Workshop gave a briefing at Adepticon where they pretty much said, yes, 7th edition is going away. Yes, 8th edition is coming out. Yes, it's going to have points. You know, they talked about some stuff. They talked about the shooting and the combat phase, sort of previews and whatnot. But thereafter, pretty much almost like every day, it's just getting faster and faster. They are putting out more and more information. So their next update was from the 22nd of April. And in this, they are again telling you that, guess what? 8th edition is coming along. After that, their next post from the 23rd was showing the galaxy map. And I know that there's a lot of narrative stuff going on, and I'm not an expert on the narrative, so I don't even want to attempt to unpack the narrative because that's just not my place. I'm not the best at it. I know there have been a lot of questions in terms of things missing on the maps, and are these places gone? And Games Workshop saying no, they're not gone. It's just not a complete map and whatnot. So they started to talk about the galaxy and the fluff a little bit. They did remind everybody that if you bought a codex, you would have 8 weeks to essentially return it and get a voucher. So you can claim a voucher no matter where you bought your codex and or rulebook, as long as you have proofs of purchase and it isn't dated between the 25th of February 2017 and the 22nd of April. And it is dated. I'm sorry, not it isn't. It is dated. If you bought codexes and you didn't know, they are going to give you some sort of credit, which is nice. But let's get into the details. Just a couple days ago, last week, they started to release unit profiles, and they started with Space Marines, who have a movement of 6, a weapon skill of 3, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 1, attacks 1, leadership 7, save 3+. They also showed a Dreadnought, which was essentially the same thing, except strength 6, toughness 7, wounds 8, attacks 4, leadership 8, also save 3+. So you notice vehicles no longer have armor values, they have regular saves, which is just like Age of Sigmar. So, and this stat line is just like Age of Sigmar. It's going to be modified by spells and abilities, but it is not going to be comparative, meaning if this Space Marine is fighting the Dreadnought, the Space Marine's going to hit Dreadnoughts on a 3+, and the Dreadnought's going to hit Space Marines on a 3+, unless you have some sort of spell or something going on. They also show Guilliman, movement 8, weapon skill hitting on 2s, ballistic skills hitting on 2s, strength 6, toughness 6, wounds 9, attack 6, leadership 10, save 2+, and Terminators who have a 2 wounds, which is fantastic. So this is very along the lines of Age of Sigmar, although a lot of things are not on the lines of Age of Sigmar. So to me, it looks like it's going to be Age of Sigmar plus, meaning it's going to be more complicated than Age of Sigmar and still maintain some of the mechanics of Warhammer as we know it. It is much closer to Age of Sigmar than maybe some people want it to be. Next, on the 26th, they released stuff about weapons. There are no more templates. If you have templates, turn them into terrain or melt them or put them in a box and save them forever. They showed that Flamers, this weapon will automatically hit. It's strength 4. It's assault D6. It has a range of 8 inches. Bolt gun, 24 inches. Rapid fire. They didn't define what rapid fire is, strength 4. So they still have strength. And if we look at the units still have toughness. I'm not sure. There's got to be some sort of strength to toughness comparison. Because in Age of Sigmar, you don't have a strength to toughness comparison. It just says you hit on this weapon on a 3+. Here, I have these, right? Here's the Gunstruck Thunderers. So it says they have an Aether Shot Rifle. Range 18, attacks 2, to hit 3+, to wound 4+, rend -1, damage 1. This has an AP value, which I assume is similar to rend, because last cannon is -3, so you probably, I don't know, either ignore everything less than a 3 or you take your 2-up save and you subtract 3 from it and then that's the save. It has random strength or random damage, so 1/1d6, but it also has a strength profile. And I don't know if that's going to be affecting the 2-wound hit or something else. So they're going to go into that a bit more. So there's no cap on strength 10 anymore, which is kind of cool. D weapons are gone, which is kind of interesting. But they did say that there will be rules for every weapon and that everything can hurt everything, which is just like Age of Sigmar. You can take your little Ratmen and you can run them into a steam tank and you have no problem getting the Ratman to do damage to the steam tank. So there you go. Movement. So all of the characters in 40k now have a movement stat. And so it'll be very familiar with how things moved before, but not every model moves 6 inches. So if we go back to our unit profiles, we can already see the movement here is 6, and the movement here is 8, and the Terminators are 5. Same thing as Age of Sigmar, where it has a unique movement characteristic for each thing, and then there are other modifiers that you can apply for like running and whatnot. And, you know, I'm assuming there's going to have a whole bunch of special rules that are still going to go along. Oh, did I open movement twice? I think I did. Psychic. So Psychic is going to work totally different. And guess what? It's working like Age of Sigmar. And that is that each one of your psychics are going to have a mastery level. That mastery level is going to be the number of spells that they can cast. You are no longer going to have a psychic pool. You're going to roll 2d6. You're going to compare the total number. If it is equal to or better than the number that you need to cast the spell, then that spell is going to go off, and there will be a chance for somebody to try and counterspell it with a 2d6 roll, just like Age of Sigmar. So for example, I want to cast Magic Missile. It has a casting value of 5. I need to roll 2d6. I need a 5 or better for Magic Missile to go off. Same thing, right? So Smite, if the result of the psychic test was more than 10, the target suffers d6 mortal wounds, but it has a warp charge value of 5. So for Smite, you roll 2d6. If you get a 5 to a 9 within 18 inches, it does d3 mortal wounds. And if you get 10, 11, or 12, it does d6. So very similar to Age of Sigmar. Yes, they also have mortal wounds. I don't know which page that was on, but they did talk about that. Shooting. So shooting is going to be kind of similar. Everything is hitting on a fixed ballistic skill. You cannot shoot into close combat like you can in Age of Sigmar, except that pistols will be able to shoot in hand-to-hand combat, and you can also have models disengage from combat pretty much whenever you want. I guess when it's your turn, you can say, I'm leaving this combat, which you can also do in Age of Sigmar, which then would allow other models to shoot at those people who were trapped in close combat. But it means that you're never going to have a tar pit situation, or it's going to be very difficult to have a tar pit situation where, you know, you take 30 gargoyles and surround that dreadnought, and the dreadnought can't kill enough gargoyles in order to get away, and it doesn't have hit and run, and the gargoyles can't hurt the dreadnought because its armor value is higher than its strength. So it's very Age of Sigmar, except in Age of Sigmar, models who are in close combat can shoot out of close combat, even to other units that aren't in the close combat, and vice versa. Models that can fire into a close combat. They're not going that far with 40k. It looks like it's a little bit more minutia, but this idea of being able to run in, charge, do hits, then have your opponent run away, and then have their entire army shoot at you is going to be a very different mechanic for 40k. Charge phase. I think this came out today. So it says that it's similar to how they work. You can select any unit within 12 inches at the start of your charge, and you will move towards them 2d6. Enemy units still have a chance to hit the charging unit with Overwatch, provided they are not already in combat. Just in the current edition, Overwatch is a hit on a flat 6. All pretty familiar so far. In the current Warhammer 40k, you need to reach base contact. In the new edition, you only need to come within 1 inch. That's very Age of Sigmar. In Age of Sigmar, you have to come within a half an inch. So now you only have to get within 1 inch. I wonder if close combat weapons are going to have a range. Because in Age of Sigmar, the range of my gun butt is 1 inch for my Thunderers. So they might have some sort of range as well. You don't declare as the target you charge. So if you want to engage multiple units, all you need to do is brave the Overwatch fire of all of them. Overwatch can be fired multiple times per phase. Wow, but as soon as the unit is engaged, they will no longer be able to fire back. That's interesting. So the charge phase keeps most of the current mechanics with only minor amendments. Great. So it says tomorrow they'll be looking at the fight phase. That's everything that I know about that Games Workshop has told us. Let's take a look at the rumor mill. So we are at it's called naftka.blogspot.com/8th edition's release date and beyond, blah, blah, blah. I'll post the link. And this is talking about some stuff that I don't know if it's true or not. What they're saying is that the launch date is June 10th. I don't know if that's true, but that's what they're saying. June 10th, and they're saying the rest of May is going to be putting out a whole bunch of these teasers. And so far, that's correct. We've gotten all these teasers. So I don't know if June 10th is correct, but the teasers part is correct. About 1 to 2 weeks beforehand, all 7th edition exclusive products are being pulled from stores. Codex, rulebooks, Dark Vengeance, new campaign books, all that sort of stuff. On day 1, 5 new free softcover PDFs will launch with all the core 8th edition rules. And this rule book supposedly is going to be 12 pages. There you go. And apparently they're going to have Armies of the Imperium, Armies of Chaos, Armies of Xenos, and a Galaxy in Flames. And then they have a super secret spoiler at the bottom, which I'm not going to spoil for you. If you want to scroll down and read more of what they're saying, go ahead and go to the link in the description below. So that is all the news and rumors that I know about for 40k 8th edition. If you know about more news and rumors, go ahead and share them in the comments below. Let me know what you've been seeing and what you've been talking about. But all that 2nd edition talk, throw it out. Again, this last page, this is rumor. This is not fact. Everything else has come from GW. And again, if you want the official GW release, go to warhammer-community.com, click Warhammer 40k, and you can, of course, sign up for an email. You can also check out Warhammer TV and Forge World and blah, blah, blah. There you go. Last up, we are going to take a look at something amazing from Robert. Robert is working on a Stormcast Eternal cosplay. And it is gorgeous. I'm going to mute this, though. So this is his helmet. He's putting together a full costume. It's absolutely gorgeous. I don't think it's complete yet, but we're going to take a look at some pictures on it. If you want to see more from Robert, you can go to his YouTube page, which I will also link below. And he's been posting a lot of really cool stuff about his project on his YouTube page. And let's take a look at some pictures. So here's the armor. Here's how it's coming along. Working on the painting. This is it after a lot of it has been painted. The hammer, the helmet, the mask. I mean, it is just gorgeous. He's made himself his own meme. I love it. And the shield. Oh, the shield is so cool. I want this. I really, really want it. I want it a lot. That's awesome. I'd go to work like that. This is amazing. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Robert, for letting me share this. Again, if you want more information, you want to follow his project, go ahead and go to his YouTube page. It's in the link below. That is all for tonight. This is a long video because of all that GW stuff that we had to talk about. So until next time, this has been Aaron from the Cool Guys Nation. If you like what you see, go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you'd like to watch more content from Cool Guys Nation, go ahead and click one of the links from here, and I'll see you guys next time.